get a better idea of how this all needs to fit together, I'm gonna go ahead and drop it down. I'm gonna sit it on my rollers. That's about 5 inches right there. So we need to take a little bit off that for ride height. So thinking 4.5 inches for ride height. So let's go ahead, get it down, see where it sits, and see how long and where the placement of the new mount is gonna be. After some finagling over here, that is not going to work for us. I need to bring it up from here to right here, have a pivot point, and then come down over this way. So we got to do a cam, unfortunately. I was hoping we could get away with it doing it simple, but the 5-inch bellow encroaches on this, and then the inside of the tire would rub on it as well. Oh well. So let's go ahead and figure out what we need to do for the geometry from here to up here to then down here. These are all the versions of a cantilever we tried before we came to our final design. All right, for welding up the front cams, I'm gonna go ahead and 3D print a jig. That way we can put all the parts together. They're not gonna shift, they're gonna be perfectly squared up. So I have it already done up on a file here. We're gonna go ahead and turn this on and then print it out. All right, this just came off the printer. So we have our pieces here. And our spacers. So these are unidirectional because they're offset. And it goes in pretty much like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and tape it in place. And then once we got both pieces in there, we'll slot it in here. So the jig will hold it exactly how it needs to be aligned to get it welded up. So this looks like it's going to be a good fit right here. This guy's going to come out right over here. We'll rotate this. So, oh, gotta go the other way. Clock it this way. And then we have our adjustment and our feed on this side. And then it's gonna come right in line with that. Now right now I have it set up for if it's fully extended. So that'll sit right here. Put a plate. Put a triangle plate right over here. And then this guy's gonna sit right here. And then as it compresses, it will come up. And the A-arms will come up. And then ride height's gonna be right about here. So when we sit for ride height, I'll have it measured out for the compression on the pneumatic, and then we will take and buy our rod right here from right length. All right, here's where we're at. This is welded in, the fixture. It's got good articulation. Now down here, oh my goodness. It's gonna sit somewhere right about here. So we'll take and weld in a bar that goes to the middle, to the corners right here. Same on the other side. And then, let's take a look, because this full extension, what our bar, it looks like center to center, 13 and 3/8. Yeah. So 13 and 3/8 from the center of eye hole to the center of eye hole. So we'll need an adjustable push rod that's at least that, right in mid range, maybe 13 inches. That way it gives us room to go out, but we need something that probably between 12 and 14 inches adjustability, just to get it tuned in with everything in place. So I need to order some 1.25 plate, not plate, 1.25 square tube for this cross beam right here for mounting of this down at the bottom. So I need to order 1.25 square tube for mounting this guy, the A-ride, on the front side. And then we need a 12 to 14 inch adjustable push rod right here. So I'll go ahead and get those ordered, and then once they come in, we can go ahead and get everything installed. Same with the mounting fixture right here. I need to get some laser cut mounting brackets. So alright, we're gonna go ahead and build our push rod right now. So we have some Heim joints, and these are left-handed and right-hand threaded. So that way you can get, as you're turning it, it turns both of them outwards at the same time. So let's get these out of here. Find out which one's left, which one's right. If only they were labeled. These are 1/2 inch. So that's the same as our mounting for 1/2 inch. And then the outside diameter is 1 inch with 120 wall, which is the tube that I have sitting right here. And this one's left-hand threaded. So now, let's take a look here. And this should, there we go, perfectly seats right on the inside. So what we need is to bring these in all the way so we can get our correct length for our push rod. We need 12 3/4 center to center of an eye hole eyelet on the closest. Oh, maybe we'll do 12 and a half. And then this way it gives us about 1.5 inches of play. So we need to cut this guy at 8 inches. Perfect. Go ahead and taper the inside here, and then we'll go ahead and weld it up. All right, so this is 5/8, this is 1/2 inch, so we need to get some sleeves up here. But let's give this a test fit right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and slip this through. I'm still waiting for the lower bracket pieces. This is gonna need to go a little longer. Right. No. Here. There we go. It's one push rod. The other one's already made too, so those are ready. We just gotta get these lower brackets, and then the mounts for the actual air suspension. So gotta wait till this piece comes in and those pieces come in, and then we can finish this up. All right, so these guys are all welded up. Last thing we gotta do is make the lower mounts. So over here, see I got this bar here across the bottom. So that's basically what we gotta do. We gotta get the 1¼ tubing, cut it 45-45, and then weld it in place so we can get this guy in place. All right, maybe if I stop dropping things. So we have these guys, we're gonna get welded right here as mounting tabs. So let's see where they need to sit. Okay, we need to bring it out this way a little bit. All right, folks, there it is. So these are all mounted in place, all welded up. It's good enough for a test run. So what we're going to do is we're gonna leave some of this hardware as temporary, like I'm not gonna leave these anchor bolts in here. Those are gonna end up being 1/2-inch bolts. And then same thing with the braces on the A-arms. Those have to get some bolts in them. So I'll go ahead and get that later, but right now, let's go ahead and test out this cantilever suspension of a DDR. Great news. This completely clears by about, I'd say 3/8 of an inch all the way around the big brake kit. Well, now that we know that wheels clear the calipers, we can go ahead and check that off the list. 18-inch wheel is the minimum. Now what we are going to do is we have this already preloaded. It's all set up, sitting at basically a little bit over ride height. So we'll go ahead and measure this, then we'll hook up the air, and then we'll crank it up and see how it behaves. Make sure it's all good. So let's do that. We need 14.5. And what do we have? We have 15. So we can adjust it a little bit to close it up, but I'm not sure if it's sitting on the pads or not, and it is. So we won't be able to do that until we get it off the pads. But we can go to full extension and at least watch it go up and down a little bit. Maybe after it goes up, we can get the legs out of the way and then bring it all the way down, slam it to the ground. Oh my. That is literally with the battery pack sitting on the ground. That is down there. Oh my goodness. That's also because the back end is kicked way up. But I love it. Oh my gosh, talk about a bow wow. We're not worthy! We're not worthy! All right, let's bring it back up. You guys just saw it live. This guy just failed because that guy cut him off. So what I had forgotten was that this motor mounts further back. This one's up forward more. So when it squatted all the way down, we ended up cutting the corner of a bag on the motor mount. So now I gotta reach out to RideTech, find out what we can do here, if I can just get them to rebuild it, replace it, or what's gonna happen here. But she gets low. At least the front suspension is sorted out. Aside from that point, I'm gonna take and modify the motor mount to clearance everything. Should not be an issue there. There's plenty of meat on it left where if I take and cut the top, it'll be good to go. So we're gonna go ahead and address that issue that way. And then move on to the next thing, which will be relocating that brake booster transversely
and then putting a mechanical linkage to comply with laws and to protect ourselves from the fact that if we had a single point of failure on the hydraulic system, we would die. So I think that's going to be a better thing. Thank you to the viewer that pointed it out. I will correct that, and then, like I said, we'll keep on truck and get on to the next project. See you guys next time.